Aloha and welcome. Welcome in, Soul Family, Soul Ohana. I am Kapualani and thank you so much for being here. So, for this reading, the energies that we're going to be covering, we have the cold full moon or the cold moon, which is a full moon coming up on the 15th of December. As always, these readings are timeless. So whenever you're seeing this, just always take what resonates, leave the rest behind. What I also want to add before we start working with the breath, tuning in, setting some intentions and so forth, because I always want to just kind of add that in there. Thank you to those who have subscribed, who have been liking and commenting. I deeply appreciate and value you. Please do consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed already. When you subscribe, when you like and you comment, the more that you sort of engage this channel and these readings, the more I can sort of tune into your specific energy, whether it's anonymous, just giving a like, nobody sees who's liking what. Or even sometimes when you subscribe, I think. But anyway, I digress. Let's dive into the cards here without further ado. So as I continue to shuffle, I invite you to connect with your breath, breathing in through the nose for a count of 4, maybe holding it at the top for a count of 4, and releasing with a ha or a sigh, again with a count of 4. As you breathe in, I invite you to set some goals, intentions, what you're calling in. And as you exhale, release, not only is it just letting go what no longer serves, but we're giving thanks, gratitude, and appreciation to your spirit guides, spirit teams, your higher self, ancestors, ancient lineages, Mother Earth, Father Sky, God, Source, Creator, Spirit, Light, your higher power, okay? And keep in mind as well that these are general readings. And so as I mentioned earlier, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. And sometimes if the energy doesn't relate to you directly, it could be about the situation or another person that you may be thinking about, that you may be asking about, all right? So let's see what Spirit has for us. Okay, Spirit, what do we need to know here today? What's coming up? What is the energy that's coming through? What is the core message for this reading today, Spirit? Thank you. All right, so right away we have the Three of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles is collaborative efforts, collaboration energy, of course. There are some things also that I feel that you are holding space perhaps to bring together. If this doesn't have to do with another person or other people, I feel like this is part of you lining things up. I'm hearing strategically, perhaps past, present, and future are starting to come together in a more cohesive way. Now, with that full moon, the cold moon on the 15th, I believe we also have Mercury stationing direct, and so that's going to bring a little bit of relief. There are things again that I'm being reminded because of this major cycle, these major cycles that we're experiencing, and I believe I had mentioned this previously. I don't know, but if you follow astrology, even my Instagram, I did a little write-up on Mars going retrograde in the sign of Leo, and the last time that happened was 15 years ago. And so that's where I feel like it's like that past, present, and future in terms of your like actual physical core reality, things lining up, things coming together. You may also be finally putting some pieces together of your own, just like what is working for you, what you would like to start to see coming together in terms of bringing a foundation in your own life, having stability in your own life. So this is, I feel like this is heading toward a more core stability in terms of the future timelines. Let's see even more so where that energy is heading, what it is expressing. I like that we have this Three of Pentacles. They're drawing my attention to the eggs here, and eggs are all about birthing new life and that there's something that's in development. So again, even if right now isn't the time to like strike, there are pieces coming together so that you can start to see the bigger picture, start to see what's taking shape, what's taking form in the future, what's to come. But we're at these very sort of pivotal moments because prior to the Three of Pentacles is the Two of Pentacles, right? And the Two of Pentacles deals with choices, decisions. It deals with having to really sort of balance things. And sometimes even if it feels like you're walking on a fine line, or what is it called? A tightrope. That's the word that I was looking for. Sometimes it feels like you might be kind of walking on a tightrope a little bit, so solidification of some ideas, of some connections, people being willing to collaborate, people being willing to help you with bringing the pieces together. And there's a desire for that as well, is what I'm hearing. Okay, so let's see where this energy is flowing, maybe looking at some challenges or benefits here to this energy and where things are flowing. Judgment. Okay, so judgment, we have revival, we have renewal, we have second chances. The timing with judgment is the next 30 days. I'm so clear on that because of how often I had seen this card coming up in the past. It was like judgment, judgment, judgment. So I'm very clear on that 30-day cycle or that 30-day timeline in terms of timings of things, which is nice because, of course, this ushers in us into the new year, the 2025 year ahead. And I did mention, that 15 years ago with the Mars retrograde in Leo, and then it's going into Cancer with Mars retrograde. But those second chances, okay? This is an opportunity for you to really expand and call in that higher timeline of possibility, potential, along with your guides. This is a time to also be present to, and call in the people, places, and experiences that are in alignment with your highest, greatest good, your highest timeline, your desires and things that are a match to that highest timeline. We think about, again, this essence of renewal, of revival, and again, second chances when we see judgment. And that may be something that you're also struggling with. Maybe there's some part of you that wants a second chance and maybe doesn't feel like you deserve it or isn't sure that it's going to be coming. I'm getting a lot of this. They're saying, and the word that's coming to mind is trepidation for whatever reason. So, I feel like if you're in a space of uncertainty yourself, or nervousness or anxiousness, you want that second chance, you want that renewal, you want that, what I mean? You would like for things to come into form and all that sort of thing with that Three of Pentacles there. The Judgment card is saying, reach for it. There may be, that could also be part of the struggles that you're going through right now, is that with the Judgment card, it's like we have to make a judgment, or a judgment is being made. There's maybe some kind of enlightening breakthrough, or, even an epiphany that could be coming through with this energy. Like I said earlier, pieces are starting to come together. You're starting to maybe, visualize or see, even though this is physical, we're working on the things that you're working on here and now, the pieces that you're bringing together. It's all heading in this direction of taking off, essentially, is what I'm getting. And it's interesting how we have the rainbow energies just sort of, wrapping around. It's both going in and out, like weaving through this individual here, and then that road, that bridge, so to speak, things opening up and expanding, things coming together in a higher sort of way, things taking off as well, is what I'm hearing. Okay. Let's keep going here. All right, let's see what you're moving through right away. The Hermit. Okay, so the Hermit energy, taking that time to go inward, maybe seeking a mentor, Six of Swords, feeling some difficulty and struggle with moving forward, not really understanding or knowing how to or where that's going. Maybe instead of things feeling peaceful, because the Six of Swords, it represents peaceful transitions. It could also represent some form of movement or relocation in some way, you looking forward to something, making plans, wanting to, but not being in a position to do that just yet, which quite frankly, it lines up with the current planetary alignments and so forth. It matches up with the retrogrades that we're experiencing. One more card, Spirit, just for a bit of extra clarity here. But this Hermit energy is saying that, there is still a bit of this soul seeking, soul searching that's needed. This King of Swords with the Hermit, the Six of Swords, the King of Swords, I feel this being, about clarity with your plans, strategizing, not wavering just yet from status quo, being really mindful to the rules, being really mindful to what's important and detaching. There is a feeling of, not necessarily just going inward, the soul searching with the Hermit, but don't be afraid to seek out guidance. Because I feel like there could be something here with, if you're having uncertainty, don't be afraid to seek out guidance, whether it's like with a mentor, whether it's with, a healer that you work with, whether it's like a reading, whether it's with counseling, a therapist, whatever the case may be. This feels like it's, going to someone who can support you in being indifferent, but honoring, whatever it is that you're going through from a space of wisdom and clarity. This is someone that's had some life experiences. Okay, and maybe this is you, and maybe it's just kind of a cumulative of your own life experiences. Maybe when things are feeling, like the boat is rocking, spirit's saying you have to really maintain a sense of composure to get to this other side, to get through and to the other side of things, in terms of really understanding like why and what it all means. Okay, I feel that the answers will be clear, even if the way forward isn't clear. There's something also like go back, okay? Go back and reflect on, as it resonates, of course, just any experiences that may be relatable to what you're going through right now. But especially because I've already mentioned this, especially because this is something that we're moving through from this December into, I believe it's February. But the past 15 years, what were you doing? Who were you back then? Who are you now? What kinds of downloads, what kinds of inspiration, what kinds of messages, what kinds of guidances, what's motivating and inspiring you right, it's now, and what was motivating and inspiring you back then? Who and what were you surrounded by back then? How did you make your decisions? What lessons and so forth have you learned since then? Okay, what themes could be reappearing, because it's like going back, and that reflection, and having a sense of discernment, having a sense of self-responsibility, having a sense of self-discipline. There's something here also about just, not just the mental energy. I wanted to say, yes, the mental energy, but communications. And so this may be a time where communications are a little bit upside down. And so before, being reactive, we want to take that time, again, like that King of Swords, see things from a higher perspective, understand and look at the bigger picture. I'm drawn to these the hummingbirds here. I'm drawn to these hummingbirds, which is all about that heart chakra. So there's that, while the hummingbird, of course, is air energy, there's a softness, there's a healing energy that's there. And I think about how, hummingbirds, they drink nectar, right? They feed off of nectar. And so there's that sweetness, as well as like the integrity of those eagle energies. While things are in a state of flux, we want to maintain integrity. We want to maintain a position of higher authority, of responsibility, and of stability. We're not trying to waver again from the status quo, but we're honoring the status quo just for now, especially if and where things may seem to be a little bit imbalanced or in a state of upheaval. Okay, let's get some additional guidance, because what? 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, this has to do with your future. This has to do with your future stability. This has to do with the stability that you're working to create for yourself. We go from the 3 of Pentacles to the 10 of Pentacles. And let's just see here, closing card. And the Hierophant, yeah. So I think we saw the Hierophant showing up in last week's spread. And I think it actually showed up in the same position, if I'm not mistaken. And this is also, I don't want to just say so much as honoring the status quo, but I mentioned going to a mentor, taking your concerns or whatever it is that you're experiencing to another, a higher authority, someone who could give you some solid guidance, someone whose guidance you respect, someone who can be detached and indifferent and not get their own personal stuff mixed up with yours, when they are hearing you out and giving you guidance. And it's also about you and the way that you're navigating, right? And so this is all about anything that's happening right now. We want to do our best, and I would say this, it just normally, just on a just regular life type stuff, to do our best and not to be reactive to circumstances. It's best to stay grounded and again see things from a higher perspective. And I think about one of my the Wild Unknown deck, where the King of Swords is represented by an owl, and of course we had that owl animal spirit show up last week as well, which it's like the owl is aware that there is a treasure. It's about navigating one's way through the dark, but understanding that that's also what you're strong with. You have an ability to do this. And why? Because and we're seeing an owl here, thank you spirit, but it's because on some level you've already lived through some things. You've already had enough life lived experience to understand how to navigate the waters. And so even if it was about a situation where you are wondering like, oh, am I ever going to hear back about this job? Like, it's taking so long. Or am I ever going to hear from this person? Like, it's been, months or whatever. Like, it's been a long time. And that's where it's like, we can honor whatever it is that we're feeling without letting it determine or control how we function. And that's where this King of Swords, the Hierophant, and even that Ten of Pentacles is like, just focus on on being practical and on using that higher perspective to really help you to navigate things. And I said this last week, but I'm going to say it again, from the ground up. We get that divination, obviously, from the top down. We get the vision, we receive the downloads and the inspiration from spirit, from our higher selves, that sort of a thing from the top down, right? But where we start and how we put it all together, we have to just focus on what's right in front of us, all right? And so this is energy, for example. Let me just tune in here, spirit. Okay, so this is where the focus is heading. Okay. And why? Again, why are we sort of like looking at things this way in terms of going back and in terms of like taking these steps, being very practical? It's because we want a stable future. All right. And in this case, it really is about not trying to be too rebellious right now, especially with this Mars retrograde energy. It's not saying to fall in line and just do what everybody else is doing, but you really just, it's like, with the Six of Swords again being upside down, it's kind of like it may feel as if like we're going against the tide. So that's why it's just sort of like allow for the energies to, it's like you don't want to just get sucked into chaos. You know what I mean? So that's where it's like you really want to stay strong in terms of your mental perception and clarity over things. And again, non-reactive, because it's going to help you to stabilize and bring into being the future that you're wanting, the future connections, relationships. And again, I'm going to repeat myself, but that's stability and security. Okay. So let me tune in here before I move forward or say anything more. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. Okay. So, and I think it does have something to, to say with the full moon and the cold moon. This particular cold moon, full moon, I believe it's also going to be very unique in that the moon hasn't been like the rising and the setting of it or something like that. I think I read somewhere that that hasn't happened in like 18 years or so. So there's something, you know what I mean, with the timings of cycles, and there's some type of possible judgment call that feels like it's being made or feels like you're needing to make. Let me not forget the Hermit being Virgo energy. I believe, I always forgive me, I can't remember what judgment is. If you guys remember for me, put it in the comments. But the Hierophant is Taurus, all right? And we know with the King of Swords, it's that air energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. Not to take the others for granted with the Earth and that air again. But with the earth energies, I'll just go ahead and point it out there: Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. So, let me just tune in because I feel like there's something else that they're wanting me to say here with this. Okay. This is the direction that you're heading in. Okay. You're getting into this place of practicality, not just so much of practicality, but stability for the long term by honoring like methods that have already been tried and true. Thank you, Spirit. So it's really about, like, you don't really want to, again, I'm just sorry, I don't want to sound too repetitive, but you don't really want to worry so much about going against the grain right now. You want to just, again, honor what is, honor the status quo. We're holding space for the downloads. We're holding space right now to strategize potential next moves, while also understanding that when that time comes, things are a bit in flux, and that's why it's going to serve you to just do that inner, like, stay inward, do the soul searching where it counts, where it matters, reach out where it counts, where it matters accordingly. Okay, so before we close up here, I'm going to do our animal spirit shuffle. I will reveal the guidebook version when we go into part 2, because I always forget, but there will be a part 2 to this video, and you can find it at kapualani.com/extensions. You can find it in the description box below or in the comments as well if you're interested. Don't hesitate. It starts at $1.11, no big deal. It's a sliding scale type of situation. So yeah, don't hesitate. But I also wanted to add, because I tend to forget this, that if you would like to dive deeper into this reading, if it does resonate, and you just want to go ahead and book a session, you can schedule your session on my website, kapualani.com, and I offer live sessions as well as pre-recorded sessions. Okay, so check that out if you're interested, as well as, again, the part 2, the extension to this, the extended version. So Spirit, what is the animal spirit guide coming through for us today for this cold moon cycle that we're in? Ooh, we've got tiger energy. There's that intensity. I don't know why. I probably am like, so okay, it's Durga. I'm thinking of that goddess, the goddess Durga. Hindu goddess, if that resonates with anyone. I feel protection. I also am present to the tiger energy being associated with the high priestess in the Wild Unknown tarot deck. And, that's where we are just holding that space, allowing for the possibility, potential to be revealed. It's one of those things where sometimes when I see that card, the phrase that comes to mind is I'll know it when I see it. So you're getting the visions, you're getting the downloads, but we're not just jumping at any possibility. We're not just jumping at any opportunity. It has to be something that really aligns and resonates. There is this energy, I think about even the swords, like this King of Swords with that High Priestess, even though I believe High Priestess is like Cancer energy. So we're not just being reactive to something. We're ready to pounce at a moment's notice if and when what we want reveals itself. But till then, we're going to just maintain and sustain. We're going to hold steady and true. We're going to allow for things to be revealed to us. We're not going to go out seeking it. We're not going to go searching. So you don't need to search for anything right now. This is about, again, holding steady, maintaining and sustaining that status quo energy. But I feel like, overall, I like where this has sort of wrapped up, so to speak, because these are energies that are both surrounding you with the High Priestess. Environmentally speaking, again, it's like rules and regulations are sort of the key here. And like, even if you wanted to right now, you may not quite be able to. Just because Spirit's also reminding me that, at least for this particular time frame that this reading is being published or posted, there, we still are going to be moving through the Mercury. Even though it stations direct on the 15th, we still have that shadow period, to honor that. I think it's like a week or 2 weeks, after when it's stationing direct. And so that's part of it in terms of just sort of like staying steady. But, again, I like that, there's this focus here. This is where your higher self is guiding you. This is, the energy that the higher self where it's all leading you. So just keep that in mind, all right? If you're feeling a little bit like antsy or anxious and uncertain, it's going to be okay. You know, we just got to keep showing up. Like, stay on track with the plans. You don't need to waver right now, because things may feel that way. They may be a little bit like blue bitty blue bitty blue. It might feel a little bit like weird or whatnot, but at any rate, again, I invite you to check out my website, kapualani.com, if you're interested in scheduling a session, and also, you know, / extensions if you would like to dive into the part 2. But I'm going to do a little tuning fork just to close things out. As I say, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in part 2 in just a moment for, again, those interested. So thank you so much. Till next time, take care.